Hello and welcome back to the Two Dudes in a Podcast where we are mass communicating. Good to be back. Been a long hiatus.
It's been a long
It started
time.
as a week-long break and then it went off. You know, sometimes you lose passion for things.
You do?
I kind of did after 2 weeks of not doing it. And then
I've been wanting to do it for like 2 months now.
did a short film in between that.
Oh yeah, I still haven't
That was
actually
fun.
watched that.
Do yourself a favor. We've broken 500 views on it at this point.
Oh, you want to know something that was really cool?
What?
I was scrolling through YouTube last night.
Mhm.
You know the recommend page?
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for our Batman film.
Our Batman
on the
film?
recommend page.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah. It was pretty far down, but it was there.
But you know,
People scroll that far.
yeah, some people do scroll that far. That's really cool to know.
Yeah.
Actually, I've never seen it there, but thank you for that little
You're welcome.
tidbit.
And I was talking to somebody I work with at Walmart now,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he watched the Hemi Hams film. Thought it was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he thought it was awesome.
Now the Batman thing was great. That kind of made my day.
Mhm.
But the Hammy Hams thing, like I work on Batman. I'm in Batman. But honestly, if I'm going to be honest, we need to make a new trailer for it because
Yeah.
we filmed so much more stuff.
Hoo-wee. See, I'm oblivious to all this because I've been literally stuck at Walmart for about half of this year at this point.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's working out pretty all right.
It's working out,
my
making big bucks.
Transformers collection has like doubled since January. It's a little intimidating, actually.
You're making the big bucks. Pretty soon there'll be enough of them to take you out.
Probably. I pre-ordered the $80 jet fighter.
If your shelf falls down on you, you're done for. Not because of the shelf, but because of all the toys on it.
Yeah, probably. I bought a jewelry chain today, and I made a little chain for my Matrix of Leadership to put around Megatron's neck.
Okay.
It looks awesome with it.
You're getting into that customizing
Yeah.
stuff. That's cool. I've thought about customizing some stuff, but I haven't got the most customization I do on my figures
I'm not.
is like loose straps and stuff.
Mhm.
I'll like glue them down the way they
that's
don't
a good
fall
idea.
off.
Maybe I should do that to Scarlet.
I think I'm gonna do that to her. But like especially the 90s X-Men characters come with all kinds of like
Oh, yeah.
straps and parts. I'm like, all right.
Before I forget about this idea I had yesterday, we should do a G.I. Joe segment in like a future episode.
That would be cool.
Yeah, because I'm going to just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be
All
cool.
right. So something I did in our long hiatus is I came up with a segment idea, and I held on to it, where I'm going to ask a question to specific people, past guests of the shows and personal friends of mine, ask them a question, and then come up with my answer, and then ask you on the show.
Ah, okay.
It's going to usually be in the geek realm,
Gotcha,
keeping
gotcha.
in continuity with our show.
Uh-huh. Continuity.
So the question for this episode
Yeah.
was, if you were to have like a giant sci-fi action adventure, like you yourself were taken to the stars, had a cool like sci-fi action adventure story,
Yeah.
like think Star Wars, Star Trek, maybe not Star Trek because it's not a lot of action in all honesty.
It's got a different kind of action, but it's...
Yeah. Sci-fi. Who would you want to compose the score for it?
Huh.
Answers I got, John Williams. That was an answer. Multiple people answered that.
Yeah.
Howard Shore,
Ooh.
who scored Lord of the Rings.
Ooh. That'd be good.
John Williams, if you don't know. If you don't know
If
the,
you don't
the
know John
illustrious
Williams.
John Williams.
If you don't know John Williams,
composer of Jaws.
go look up Duel
Star
of the Fates.
Wars, Superman,
And the Superman theme. Do yourself a favor.
Indiana Jones.
That one, too. That one.
Multiple Steven Spielberg films and just multiple films in general.
Steven Spielberg, my favorite guy right now.
Okay. Oh, because of the Animaniacs.
The Animaniacs are back.
And then Howard Shore, who composed the score for Lord of the Rings. You know,
yeah.
some
yeah.
epic
He's good.
stuff in that. Hans Zimmer.
Mm.
Probably inspired by Interstellar. That
Probably,
choice.
yeah.
My choice was Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore, who did the score for Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo Reach.
Nice.
They made some epic scores for that. If I were to give you an answer for like why I chose them, specifically the Halo Reach score, because it's such an interesting score for a sci-fi game. And it's got a lot of epic drums in it, and I like epic drums in a song.
Drums. So, are we talking generic sci-fi or
any type of sci-fi you want?
Anything,
You
so
know,
like any
fantasy
universe,
sci-fi,
any whatnot.
Yeah, just
anything.
Who would you have compose your
probably
cool
somewhere
adventure?
between Steve Jablonsky is really good. Despite him doing the music for the Michael Bay Transformers movies, those movies don't really deserve that music. It's good music. Yeah. Another choice is Mark Mothersbaugh, who did Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
And he also did the Lego movie and stuff, and he plays a lot with synthesizers and whatnot. I think he had a band in the 80s that was the inspiration for Weird Al's parody. It's not a parody, it's a style parody song, Dare to Be Stupid, which was used in the 1986 Transformers movie.
It all ties together with Brannon's world.
It all comes full circle.
Brannon's whole like pop culture is like the MCU, and it all ties together.
It
Honestly,
all ties together.
It's both intimidating, but also very impressive.
Oh, you know Bumblebee? The Bumblebee movie?
Yeah.
You know he watches Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah.
And you know who stars in that movie, right?
Who?
Judd Nelson.
Okay.
You know who voices Hot Rod in the original 1986 Transformers movie?
Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson.
Dear God. You can pick out Easter eggs from like a mile away.
Full circle, man. It's
even
wild.
if it's not supposed to be an Easter egg, you're like, I found it.
Yeah.
I found it. All right, so a little change up with the show format. Something we're gonna do, because we used to do like what media we've been partaking in.
Yeah.
And I still want to do like that.
Yeah.
But due to this being our first episode back, we're gonna make it simpler.
We need to have a foundation for it. Like we have
Foundation.
something to look forward to, and
Like-
then
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
something. Anyways,
So we're gonna start doing alternating movie choices each episode.
yeah.
I went first because Brannon's choice tied in with Halloween.
Yeah.
So we're gonna release that next week as a Halloween
With
episode.
my brother on.
With his brother on.
Yep.
So I chose first, and he said he's seen bits of this movie, but just never the
Yep.
whole thing. So probably just out of context bits, if I'm right.
Kind of not. One of them was for a sermon at church, actually. So you can probably think of which part, but maybe.
I chose "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" by the Coen brothers, starring George Clooney, John Turturro.
We talked
and
about it, Coen Brothers, earlier.
What
on
was
this
it?
cast.
John Blake Nelson?
Maybe. George
And
Clooney.
a guy named Blake Nelson.
Yeah.
Middle name Blake, last name Nelson. Yeah, the Coen brothers. We talked about them because of
Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched that?
Yeah. No.
It's good.
But I have seen other Coen brothers films, such as Big Lebowski,
I still haven't seen that one.
No Country for Old Men. Both totally different genres of film,
Yeah.
which that's one of the things
Buster
about
Scruggs
the
is
Coen
very
brothers.
similar to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Having watched both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know, because I like Oh Brother, Where Art
Oh
Thou?
Brother, Where Art Thou takes place in 1930s Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And Buster Scruggs is a bunch of tiny stories that take place in the Wild West. So there's a lot of similarities there that I picked up on.
Okay.
And it again has that weird surreal feeling that I thought Oh Brother, Where Art Thou had.
Yeah, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It's like...
The Odyssey, but in 1930s Mississippi.
Yeah, so the Great Depression, full effect.
Full effect.
Lovely what's
with
happening.
Mrs. Incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It all comes full circle, man.
Yeah. Shoot.
And the governor guy plays... Shoot, I have forgotten his name. But he's in the Muppet movie.
And John Goodman.
And John Goodman, who
plays
is
Hound in the Transformers movies. Also known as John Goodman, also known as Sully from Monsters,
James P.
Inc.
Sullivan.
James P. Sullivan. Lovely guy, John Goodman.
He's
is.
great. Isn't
Funny
he in
guy.
The Big Lebowski?
Shit, he's in Big Lebowski too.
Why do I know that? Oh, and one of the...
Probably because of me.
Pete is in Age of Extinction. No, he's not. He's in the first 3 and the last night. He's Agent Simmons.
Yeah, John Turturro is in this.
Yeah,
John Turturro is also in Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah.
The only
funny.
guy in the I don't know. Was Jeff Bridges in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I can't remember.
Because if he is, that's the 3 main. That's like not the 3 main characters, but 3 of the characters from Big Lebowski.
Shut up, Delmer.
Yep, that guy. We got Delmer,
Pete, and
Everett.
Yeah.
Everett.
Yeah.
We got 3 guys who bust out of jail.
Bust out of a work camp, basically.
Yeah, basically.
One of them gets
like,
turned into a frog, and
by sirens.
They fight a Cyclops.
Yeah, played by John Goodman.
Yeah, played by John.
He breaks off a tree branch and knocks him about.
Yeah, They also talk to a blind seer who shows up at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they see a cow on a barn. It's really kind of a wild movie.
They meet a bank robber.
Yeah, that too. That was really good. He was funny.
They get baptized. Pete and Delmer get baptized.
Yeah, Pete and Delmer get baptized. That was funny.
Is that the clip you saw?
Yeah. I don't
in
remember.
Church?
Yeah, somebody used it at my church. And then I think the radio station part where they're the Soggy Bottoms.
The Soggy Bottom
I saw
Boys.
that in like 8th grade history for some reason, I think. Yeah.
If you don't understand the intro of the show where we say we're mass communicating, it's from the movie.
We're mass communicating.
Like they're leaving the radio station as the Soggy Bottom Boys, and like this guy running for re-election
and
as
they're
governor.
wanted convicts, aren't they? And they run face to face with the governor of Mississippi.
yeah, they do, and then I don't know. They're talking about all kinds of stuff. They're like, weren't they talking about them? They're like, oh man, there's something, blah blah blah.
I think so.
And then the governor's like, shut up, we're going to the radio station. We're mass communicating. I don't know why, but I just kind of love that quote.
Yeah.
Every time I walk into here, which this is we're in a radio station.
We
right
don't have
now.
our own private studio,
but
yet.
I mean, I like Thunder Radio.
That's true, but like
as our
I don't
place.
expect to be here forever, do you?
I don't expect to be here forever.
So,
eventually it'll probably be moved to
somewhere. Maybe even online.
My place of residence whenever I get equipment.
I'm about to go off to college.
Maybe to the realm of Skype or Discord.
That might be where it goes.
Probably Skype, because that tends to work better.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. We can. I have a way to do that. I have a computer now.
All right.
So everything's going to be a lot faster on my end.
That's good.
With editing and stuff, and that's going to be fun. But Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, based on the Odyssey, which it's fun to try to make connections with the Odyssey, because like you really like there's parts where it's like that's the Odyssey, but there's parts where you're kind of like, huh.
Yeah, there's enough parts that you can definitely make the connections very easily.
Yeah, but then there's parts you're like, this is just a good old movie. It's a very simple plot.
It is. Sometimes you just got to have simple plots. You don't need like Inception.
I mean,
something.
Odyssey, simple plot. Guy trying to get home. It's just a lot of crazy stuff happens.
I just want to go home, see my wife, but I got to deal with this.
Kiss
Cyclops.
my kids.
Yeah.
My wife's getting married. Oh no.
Oh no! I got to go sing at the governor.
Yep.
Sing for the governor.
But lots of folksy good old music.
It is good. And
like every good movie where you travel across a long way.
Yeah. Especially
in the United States. It's like Kevin Smith said. He said on all the old like road trip movies, they always had the KKK in it.
Oh,
they did? Like, yeah.
Oh.
Like, he's like, in all they'd always have to fight the KKK at one point. And that's why they show up in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Oh, the KKK does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jay and Silent Bob take them on.
Jay and Silent Bob take on the Klan.
Yep. They sling shit all over them.
That's terrible. And
then as they're driving away, Jay sticks his head out the door and he says something like, shoot. All I know is it ends in dirty sheet fuckers.
The part where they stumble upon the KKK gathering is wild.
Oh yeah, they meet a guy earlier, a black man.
He's
and he plays guitar, and they pick him up, and he's
Timmy
on the side
Johnson.
of the road.
He's based off of a real guy.
He is.
I can't remember his. It's something Johnson, but I've completely.
And they pick him
lost
up, and he's got a guitar, and they're like, "What you doing?" And he's like, "Sold my soul to the devil to play this guitar."
Yeah.
And he's a good player. But the KKK gets to him, and they have to rescue him. Which I don't know. I think it's a nice relationship they have with him because, like, everybody else in this movie is all like blah 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 blah, and then, I mean.
Robert Johnson. That's who he's based off of.
Robert Johnson.
Robert Johnson is the 30s singer who may or may not have sold his soul to the devil to play the guitar.
They need to make a movie about that, like a biopic.
Just go listen to his songs. They're creepy.
They're creepy?
One of them is called Running from the Devil, so.
Running from the devil.
And I think another one's called Crossroad Blues, and another one's called Running from the Devil.
Well, they find him at a crossroad.
Exactly.
Oh, shit. I'm making connections.
X-Files theme.
But I think it's a lovely old movie.
It's pretty good.
I don't know. Like, I thought we could talk about it for longer, but it's also like, it's a pretty simple movie.
There's not a lot to talk about.
It's not like Blade Runner or anything.
Which has a lot to it. I think we might have missed some updates on like the Instagram and stuff.
Updates?
Yeah, we have now joint operation of it, I guess.
Yeah.
The Instagram account is now fully operational.
Yeah, up to snuff.
Yep. I'm trying to keep it a little more active.
Brannon posts polls and stuff while I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
I kind of post promotional stuff, and Brannon kind of talks with the community.
Yeah.
We both talk with the community. Like, I'll interact with posts.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
hoping
just not good at running a page.
Yeah.
I'm more like I post a photo, say, hey, this cool thing happened.
We got a podcast, by the way, and I'm like, we got a podcast. You guys want to listen to it? Hey, you want to listen to it?
That's what Brannon's pretty good at, because he runs a meme page, too.
Yeah, I do.
TF Memes 1984.
Yeah, .1984.
Look it up.
Pretty good.
Good meme page.
I'm on the brink of 2,800 followers.
I'm nodding my head.
Yeah. I think that's something to brag about. But your question question you asked at the beginning, do you want to put that on stories and let followers?
That'd be a wonderful idea. I didn't even have that idea because I was just like,
That's an idea.
I'm just, gosh, I can record audio.
Mm-hmm.
I can edit a video.
But then you got to be able to market that video.
But that's the side where other people come in for me.
I got you. I'm also hoping to get this show and past shows so I can use them for like highlights and stuff.
Shit, you're really going for it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, Brannon you've been thinking about this for the past 2 months, haven't you?
Actually, more like the past 2 weeks. All these ideas really started coming to me about a week ago, so.
I mean, that's when we talked about the date to come back, which is recorded on a Thursday, released on a Friday. Back to the old schedule.
We getting into it.
Ye old schedule. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? On Amazon Prime Video until November 1st.
Would you rate it?
I rate it. It's like a 8 or 9 out of 10.
I give it a 9 out of 10. Maybe borderline 10 out of 10. I really liked it.
I like it. It's just not a knock out of the park for me. And that's not, it's a home run. It's just not an out of the park ball.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not like one of those where it's like, foul ball.
It was okay, but
it's not a strikeout. It's not, a 1 base or 2 base hit. It's a home run. You hitting all the bases and going home, but it's not you didn't hit it out of the park. You didn't show off.
Yeah. They kind of showed off. They successfully adapted the Odyssey into 1930s Mississippi. So,
I mean, that is a flex.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well,
I think it's a great movie. You can watch it on Amazon Prime Video until November 1st, and then it's up in the air where it's going. Probably going to Netflix. Because Amazon and Netflix share, because Inception went off of Amazon, and now it's on No, Inception went off of Netflix, and now it's on Amazon.
I need Amazon to get a Transformers show because Netflix is...
Are we going to talk about that?
We can do it later.
Well, I mean, we're kind of wrapping up with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
That's true.
Do you have any more thoughts? Give me the breakdown. What were some of your favorite moments? Best moments? Give me a highlight reel.
Best moments.
Anything you reacted to, laugh out loud?
Mass Communicate, that was really good. I liked that. The whole Soggy Bottoms thing was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The KKK scene, I actually kind of liked that scene just because of how outlandish it was. And wow, a lot of things started to tie together in that scene because, you know, the governor opponent turned out to be the leader.
Yeah, the new guy running.
Yeah. And that was wild. And
Homer Stokes, as he's called.
Yeah, Stokes. What else was there?
Just another damn
and then
racist.
John Goodman almost got impaled in the eye, but then he caught it John Wick style.
Yeah. And then they cut down a burning cross, and
that was funny. He goes plink, and then it just falls.
That's a good moment. One of the laugh out loud moments is so dumb for me, but it's when John Goodman he hits Delmar.
Oh.
And then George Clooney,
just
Everett,
sits there.
he's just sitting there. And he's like, "What's going on?" he's just like, he's hitting Delmar to illustrate a point.
He's beating Delmar to death, but
it's for a point. I'm listening to the man. He's gonna make me money. He's a Bible salesman.
And then he hits Everett in the face.
And then he hits Everett in the face. When he hits Everett in the face,
and then he squishes
corn
Pete.
just goes everywhere out of Everett's face.
And then he squishes Pete.
Yeah, Pete got turned into a frog
By the sirens, and they thought it was his heart, but it was actually just
You
frog.
got a toad in this box. It's Pete. Yeah, but good movie. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I'd say 9.
I'm not speaking in the mic. I need to do that.
I'd say 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
It's good. I'd say almost damn good.
You got a week to watch it though.
I do.
So, well, listeners do.
Oh, right.
If you have Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
If not, if you have a local rental shop, go rent it. In our town, I'm pretty sure our rental shop is going out of business, and they have $1 rentals right now.
It's finally going out of business?
I think, because
it's
there's
been there since I was
an available sign.
Wow.
In front of it.
It's been there for 19 years as far as I know. Maybe longer.
Well, no, it's been here ever since I was born, except it was like movie gallery or video gallery.
It's changed names.
Or gallery video. And then that went out of business.
And then another one popped up.
And then it turned into a family video, which is a franchise. But I think the pandemic really hit it hard.
It probably did.
Pandemic hit a lot of businesses hard, probably especially the physical renting business.
Yeah.
Because you go home and it's like, well, I can't go out right now.
Can't go
or
anywhere.
I don't want to go out right now because, we're limiting going out. Where we go is work, home, and maybe get food.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, groceries and whatnot. But if, you run out of groceries and you need food, maybe to get a bite to eat. But even then, are you sitting there long? No, you get in and get out.
Yeah.
And even then, also, drive-thru's an option.
Drive-thrus are a thing.
So I imagine the physical renting business is all but demolished.
Yeah.
Much like the movie theater. Our local movie theater, a town over.
Yeah.
Company.
Regal?
Yeah.
Regal's completely gone?
They're going out of business. They filed for bankruptcy.
Well, that's just prime.
Now, sometimes businesses, if that location is successful,
yeah,
the business will go out and they'll get to keep the name and whatnot. It'll be open, because there's still one Blockbuster left in America, and obviously it's
and
not
it got recently turned into something like a bed and bath.
No,
it didn't. I thought
it still exists.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, there's one Blockbuster. I think it's in Washington or Oregon or something.
Captain Marvel.
Random ass Blockbuster in this town. Obviously, if it's the only Blockbuster in America, they're not answering to corporate or anything. So it's just Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Random
Seattle.
I don't even
know.
Blockbuster random.
Probably operates in a small town.
Northwest. random Pacific Northwest Blockbuster.
That's such a Blockbuster place to be.
Yeah, but I've seen videos of it. They have a pizza shop attached to it.
Wow.
I think.
Well, it is the Pacific Northwest. They kind of birthed 90s grunge, so.
Bro. You're making sense.
Yeah. 90s grunge. Speaking of 90s grunge.
What happened with 90s grunge?
Nirvana.
Nirvana?
Used in a trailer that was shown at DC Fandom.
Well, how could Nirvana play Kurt Cobain's Dead?
It was in the Batman trailer. Something in the way.
Warner Brothers brought back Kurt Cobain?
Yeah.
Holy shit, they have a lot of money.
They did it.
Nah.
Crazy sons of
Kurt
bitches
Cobain
did it.
isn't back. Kurt Cobain, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Nirvana's they're a really good band. I own Nevermind on vinyl.
Oh.
Best way to listen to music is vinyl.
On vinyl?
Records, my man, records. Something in the Way by Nirvana.
Yeah.
On the album Nevermind.
Ooh.
Used in a trailer for a Batman movie coming out.
The Batman.
Not next year anymore.
Nah.
Nope, 2022 now.
Hey, that's when the next Transformers movie comes out.
I'm sorry, but Batman outweighs Transformers right now.
That's true.
Especially this Batman movie.
This Batman looking good.
This Batman movie is going to be... I think we've gotten to the point where there's been so many Batman movies made, so many different interpretations. They're just saying... They're just going balls to the wall and taking from everything.
That's what they
while
should have been
maintaining the core of the character, but they're also doing it their own spin on it.
Yeah.
Apparently Superman might be in this universe.
I've heard that's a costume for like a Halloween costume because it takes place during Halloween.
Well, I've seen set photos, but there's also a newspaper that talks about Metropolis.
So you're saying that Superman exists in the universe?
Yes.
Because that's what I hope they do. I hope they do. This is just Batman, but I hope Superman exists.
Well, that makes way for you could use other fantastical characters like Clayface or Mr. Freeze in this universe.
Exactly.
Which I think this universe would bode well for this film universe because Matt Reeves likes character drama that I can see because he wants all the characters to have legit motivations, not just I want to outsmart Batman or anything like that. You know, they're all going to be... They're going to be there for a reason. Mm-hmm. They're not going to just be villains that pop up.
They're not just going to be the bad guy.
Like, if the Joker pops up in this universe, Batman will probably have a hand in creating him. Like, you know...
I like it when they do that.
Well, yeah. Then it's all, you know... It's all like, oh, wow. This is crazy.
Wow, this
Penguin is going to be probably taking the place of Carmine Falcone as... a mob boss, because Penguin is a mob boss.
He is, but this is Gotham City. It's got multiple mob bosses.
Well, yeah, but this is year 2. Year 1, Batman takes on organized crime. Year 2, organized crime kind of takes the back burners because then you start to get a rise in super criminals, as they call them in the comic books.
Is the Penguin a super criminal?
Technically, because he's got an alter ego and whatnot.
Okay. What about Two-Face?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're like crazy comic book characters. Basically, they don't have to have superpowers, but they look crazy in their comic book characters.
Kind of what I like about Batman's villains is that to some degree they're all like gang bosses or mob bosses.
They're all just common criminals, but
some of them are
mentally ill.
Killer Croc is not.
Killer Croc is a
Killer Croc.
If Superman's in the universe, they could also do Killer Croc justice.
Whoa. Wait, what does Superman have to do with Killer Croc?
Well, Superman's a fantastical character.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You can have other fantastical characters in this universe if Superman's in it. It was a newspaper. It's like talking about children on a school bus in Metropolis looking for you-know-who.
Oh, a school bus looking for Superman?
No, like maybe it was in trouble or something, and the kids are looking to the sky, looking for you-know-who, as it says in the newspaper. But it's a leaked photo from set, so could be fake.
We
don't know.
If
confirmed
Superman
real.
does come back, I hope
I
it's
don't know,
Henry
but I
Cavill.
feel like Matt Reeves would also love to have an Easter egg like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like Matt Reeves would love to just make a series of DC Universe films
That'd be awesome.
that are all
I'd
interconnected.
like to see a World's Finest like movie where it's
with like Robert Pattinson's Batman
and Henry
another
Cavill.
Superman. I wouldn't.
Maybe
I wouldn't do
Henry
Henry Cavill as Superman in that. You need a younger person.
That sucks because I like Henry Cavill as Superman.
Oh, I'm with the way DC's going. Henry Cavill can be Superman while someone else is Superman. There's rumors. I mean, Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton are returning for the Flash.
That's true.
Ben Affleck might return for his own HBO
There's rumors
Max
that
series.
Marvel is doing something like this too.
Yeah, Marvel's about to just
We don't know what Marvel's doing.
drop a bomb on us with WandaVision, and then
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3.
All sorts of rumors
we don't,
surrounding that.
Yeah. Rumor mill with Spider-Man 3.
Strange.
Doctor
rumors.
Strange is apparently going to be in it.
Wong will probably be in it if he is.
Wong. That'd be fun. But Doctor Strange, apparently Jamie Foxx as Electro, but he's not reprising his Amazing Spider-Man 2 role.
Oh.
He's like just playing Electro again, but we'll see when the movie comes out.
We'll see.
It's
might
also
be lying to
rumored
us.
that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to be in it, but that is still hearsay.
Yeah. What would you think if they did that?
If it's done right, I'm gonna shit my pants.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sitting there, and then you're gonna hear Tobey Maguire, that Spider-Man theme, the Danny Elfman Spider-Man theme.
I always forget Danny Elfman does that movie.
If that starts coming on, and I'm just like, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man comes in, and you hear that classic Tobey Maguire, woohoo, or whatever, and then he like saves Tom Holland's Spider-Man. He's like, hey,
I'm Spider-Man.
you Spider-Man? I'm Spider-Man. Get up, man. We gotta fight this guy.
Spider-Man.
Well, actually, no. Tobey Maguire wouldn't do that because Tobey Maguire would probably be fighting the villain.
Yeah.
Then Andrew Garfield walks in because Andrew Garfield was the really talkative one. He's like, "Hey, you Spider-Man? I'm Spider-Man. What's up?" You know, because he was kind of the hip Spider-Man in a way. You know?
Yeah.
He had the spiky hair and the
He had the Spidey spunk.
teenage melodrama.
Yeah, he did. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've seen either of his movies all the way through.
First one's okay. The second one is not.
The webs look better in his though.
Oh, the web swinging's good in his because they got a whole person to like come up with web swinging sequences, which I think they had that guy do the last like web swinging sequence of Far From Home.
Ooh.
And doing the sequences for Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I see where this is going.
So Spider-Man gonna be in New York, New York.
New York, New York.
Yeah. New York,
I
New York.
I think Holland needs to use his webs more. I feel like he doesn't do that enough.
He hasn't had an opportunity to.
Yeah.
He's always just kind of
Iron Man.
He's either in space,
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Yeah.
Just. I'm sorry, MCU guys, but
there might be. Someone was saying, imagine if Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man, tells him with great power comes great responsibility.
Why can't Uncle Ben just exist?
I don't know. It's like they're almost afraid to mention him.
Yeah.
If they don't mention him in this third one, I think it's going to be a missed opportunity because, like, I mean, unless Uncle Ben just doesn't exist in this universe.
He really should have been mentioned in, like, Civil War.
I mean,
he could have been.
He's very, very off-key mentioned because Tom Holland's like, when you can do the things I can do and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he blames himself for something, but he just doesn't say what. So maybe
I feel like
Uncle Ben's death is more recent to this Aunt May and Peter Parker.
Yeah, but
so maybe
should
it's
that
still
have
a
been
sore
approached
subject.
in Homecoming? Because I feel like at the time of Civil War, he's supposed to have been doing what he's doing for about 2 years.
Nah.
Is it not 2 years? How long has he been doing it for?
Like a couple months.
Okay, then yeah, but Homecoming should have probably addressed something.
It should have, but I feel like they might be saving it for like a culmination type thing.
I can
like
see that.
they don't mention it because there's also like he carries Uncle Ben's suitcase.
Yeah.
In Far From Home.
I can see where
and
like
maybe in this third one,
maybe being part of the Avengers is what he tries to use to cope with that. But then when Mysterio does what Mysterio does, that gets ripped away from him, and then he has to remember where he came from.
I could see that happening. You know, like Mysterio, like he's thrust into this hero role, and then we get kind of because Peter Parker in the comic books, he's like he works with the Avengers, and he was an Avenger at one point.
Peter Parker gets dunked on in the comic books.
Yeah, I know. So I feel like this might be the beginning of Peter Parker getting dunked on.
I hope so.
Because like maybe he's like, you know, he's like, you know, I'm gonna be an Avenger. That's what I'm gonna be. And then the Avengers turn their back on him.
Yeah.
When
that'd be great.
When it's time for them to have his back.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Mysterio thing.
He's blamed for everything that happened in Far
and
From Home.
it's going to be like an Ahsoka Tano thing.
Yeah, and I think Stark Industries is going to turn its back on him because he's going to become too controversial, and then the Avengers might do the same thing.
Yeah. And then he gets a blue and
then
red
Parker
suit
gets
instead of a
dunked
black
on.
and red suit.
Yeah.
Except it's, you know, it's got the tech mask, but maybe not all the other stuff.
Like maybe not the AI.
They've kind of done away with the AI.
That's good. I'm tired of AI.
I mean, the AI wasn't in Far From Home.
They even gave
We were
Azrael.
talking about Batman.
Shoot. I was about to segue back. I was going to say Azrael in the Rebirth comics. They gave Azrael an AI. They turned him into Iron Bat. They took away the angel and gave him an Iron Bat suit.
Is this an Elseworlds comic book?
It was a Rebirth comic book.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how
good on you, DC.
Yeah.
Good on you.
I didn't like it very much, but you know.
That's weird.
I liked the supernatural angel of vengeance that Jean-Paul.
What do you think Robert Pattinson looks like as Batman? You think he looks good?
I like it.
I think he looks good as Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, yeah. You know what my favorite part of the trailer was?
What?
The fact that they had Batman on the crime scene.
Yeah.
I loved that.
I like how he just kind of shows up.
And the funny thing is, that gave me 60s Batman vibes.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
He kind of just shows up. Like, you can see there, I feel like it's a politician that was murdered, because when you see Gordon walking through, there's, like, FBI agents.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the mayor.
And I feel like, when Batman shows up, there might be some conflict, like FBI agents.
So I think part of the plot is
who the hell's this guy on this crime scene? And
the mayor
Gordon's
is
like,
a significant
get
plot.
them out of there.
The mayor is a significant plot point.
I think there's going to be a lot of people. I think Gordon's going to be commissioner by the end of this, because he's only like a captain at this point, because I think the commissioner's tied up in it, and Riddler's going to have his way with the commissioner.
Oh boy. I actually thought Riddler was Hush at first.
They're doing an interesting look for Riddler.
Yeah. Would it be against Thomas
Elliott? As long as he wears a top hat at one point.
Top hat or a bowler?
Bowler.
Right. Penguin has the top hat.
As long as he wears a hat.
Hats are hats, man.
If he has something with a question mark on it, that's great too. Like a tie or something.
What if he has all the duct tape and he just like draws a question mark on his forehead with a Sharpie?
That's I'm sorry, but like there's cool, and then there's
borderline
edgy.
Yeah.
What they did with Riddler in the recent Batman Hush film, they made Riddler Hush.
Wait.
And he had like a brain tumor, and he had the scar where he had the surgery.
Wait,
made
so
into
Hush
a
wasn't
mark.
Thomas Elliott?
No.
I don't like that.
No, the recent DC films, like animated ones, have said, how about we take a comic book storyline and like mess with it?
Mess it up?
That way the viewer doesn't know what's gonna happen. And it's like,
But half of the fun is seeing the comic book move.
Yeah. That's like part of it.
Bruh. I wasn't planning to watch it anyways, so.
I watched it because I got bored, and I was like, this was...
I've actually found recently that I don't watch a lot of Marvel and DC stuff.
Really?
Yeah. I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I'm just...
You mean like animated stuff?
Yeah, and live action unless if it's like MCU installment, I haven't really watched anything. I think I rewatched Guardians this year. That was about it.
Have you not dabbled in any of the X-Men movies?
I own all the X-Men movies. My mom does.
Dang. And you haven't dabbled in any of those?
I watched them all, but I have no desire to go back and watch any of them again.
Have you seen Logan? No, you haven't.
No, I haven't seen Logan.
You gotta watch that, man. That's a good movie. That's a 10 out of 10.
The one clip you showed me was a 10 out of 10. Good Wolverine.
That happens like 5 more times.
That's epic.
So Batman looking good.
The Batman.
The Batman is looking good.
Good.
Now coming out in March of 2022 instead of October of 2021 because they moved Dune from this year to next year.
Oh, they moved Dune?
Yeah.
Oof. When's it coming out? I totally missed that.
November of next year.
Well, shoot. 2020, nothing happened except for War for Cybertron.
Yeah, but that was released digitally, so.
And it was animated.
Animated. Yes, War for Cybertron, Transformers, Part 1 of the trilogy,
Siege.
There's
an Earthrise trailer, did I tell you that?
There's an Earthrise trailer?
Yep.
I'll have to watch that after we get done. I was excited for it because I thought it was going to be something. And then I watched it, and to me, it was just a big disappointment.
It was?
Yeah, I thought there were cool moments, but it was nothing. It was like, I don't know. It was... For 6 episodes, I thought the plot was going to move...
A lot faster?
A lot faster. I thought it would be more focused, but it was unfocused on what it wanted to do. It had too many like little sub things going on.
Yeah, I can see that.
For like 23-minute episodes. I was expecting it to be like 40-minute episodes.
That would have been nice.
At 6 episodes. If they would have done 40-minute episodes, I wouldn't have cared about subplot or any of that. But when you're doing 6 22-minute episodes of an animated show, you don't have room for subplots. You do one plot, and basically it's like one episode follows the next.
Right.
To me, this was just too much fluff. And then certain moments throughout that gave like that were it was basically like there was one thing in each episode that added to the main plot, but everything else was just kind of side stuff.
Like what?
Like it was just kind of the Autobots and Decepticons talking about what they're gonna do instead of like
actually doing anything.
Yeah,
lots of exposition.
Lots of just random exposition.
I can see that. Not a lot of action, honestly.
No, not enough for 6 22-minute episodes.
Not enough.
And no good action scenes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can second that.
Optimus Prime and Megatron never really, like, they had a fight.
But Optimus gets his ass kicked.
But it was underwhelming. It's like, they explain that Optimus isn't the leader that, you know, he's known to be in this series, but it's also like, can we at least get good action out of this? Because it's kind of just the Autobots running around with their tail between their legs, getting killed over and over again, getting their asses kicked, while the Decepticons are like, we're going to get this. And then the Autobots are like, no, we're going to get it. And then the Autobots get it, and there's a big fight over it. And
some people die.
Some people...
Underwhelming deaths.
Some people die. And then the Autobots leave Cybertron.
Not
and
according
there's
to
some
plan,
Autobots on Cybertron
left that stayed behind,
and then the end.
Yeah,
and I was just like, "Oh, okay."
I feel weird now.
Really?
Because I liked it from like the first episode.
I'm not saying it was terrible. I'm just saying I expected more.
I can see that. I mean, like, out of the people I've talked to on the internet, it's all been pretty underwhelming for a lot of people. I wanted one thing. Like, I'm not coming here like, it needs to be Transformers Prime. No,
I was excited for this to see the actual war on Cybertron.
Yeah.
But I was expecting more...
Space opera?
I guess I was expecting just better stuff, because it's like, for me, the reason that, like, you know, they leave is because they, you know, hop on the Ark and whatnot, because the planet's dying.
Well, the reason they leave is because Megatron wants to use the Allspark to commit mass genocide to win the war. And the original plan was to actually take the Allspark, put it on the Ark, and then leave. But that didn't really go according to plan. Optimus ended up chucking the Allspark into the space bridge, sending it out into the vast expanse of space, and then they went into the space bridge with the Ark. So that kind of sets up Earthrise.
I feel like Earthrise needs to knock my socks off for me to get back into it, though.
It's not going to.
Really?
No. Voice acting is still trash.
The voices, that's one part that...
That's one thing people...
You can really underestimate voices in a series, but the voices in this show, there's no, like, standout voices.
Yeah.
It's either just male robot or female robot.
The only one that really stood out to me was Wheeljack, Starscream, and Megatron. Because Wheeljack eventually started to sound like Wheeljack. When he got the enthusiasm in his voice that he needed, he really sounded like Wheeljack to me. And then Starscream, what'd you think of Starscream?
I don't remember his voice.
Sounded like Starscream.
I don't remember any of the voices. Like, I only remember, like, actually no.
You remember Optimus?
The Decepticon voices were better than the Autobot voices.
Yeah.
Because the Decepticons actually sounded like what the characters are supposed to sound like, and the Autobots were more like female robot or male robot.
What'd you think of Optimus?
Generic male voice with synthesizers.
Generic, which is really
Generic
funny.
Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
Impression.
Jake Foshi is the guy who voices him, and he also voices Optimus in the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon, which is 3 seasons of 10-minute long episodes that ran on Cartoon Network at like 5 in the morning. But Jake Foshi does Optimus in both of these shows. And the whole reason he was cast to be Optimus is because he did I'm
getting a phone call. Hold on.
He did an Optimus Prime impression on the Ellen show for like 5 minutes, and now he's the new voice of Optimus Prime.
Well, they sure dropped the ball on that.
The whole reason he was hired is because he could sound... His problem is that he's trying to sound like Peter Cullen. He's not trying to be Optimus, he's trying to sound like Peter Cullen. And this is really pointed out in Gary Chalk, who voiced Optimus Primal in Transformers Beast Wars. He also voiced Optimus Prime in Transformers Armada, Energon, and Cybertron. And I've watched a little bit of Armada, and Gary Chalk sounds more like Optimus than Jake Foshi does.
Okay.
Because he's not trying to be Peter Cullen, he's trying to be Optimus. There's a difference.
The issue is in who they're trying to emulate. Can you look behind you and see if someone's trying to come in here?
I don't see anybody.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem with Optimus.
It was just kind of guy doing voice.
Hired to sound like other guys.
Synthesizer on it.
And there's this real... Voice acting across the board for Transformers has kind of gone down, because I'm not greatly impressed with Cyberverse's voice acting either. It all sounds rather generic.
Yeah.
And stuff. Optimus he sounds like an off-brand Peter Cullen, which Gary Chalk sounds like Optimus. He sounds like Gary Chalk's Optimus. He doesn't sound like an off-brand Peter Cullen. He sounds like Optimus, but Gary Chalk, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it's kind of like...
The Gary guy sounds like Optimus Prime.
Yeah, it's kind of
while
like...
the
Jake Foshi.
Jake guy is doing more of just like
Peter Cullen
impression. Who is a voice actor, and Peter Cullen does a specific voice for Optimus Prime.
He's the original voice for Optimus Prime.
Yeah. He does... Optimus Prime is a different voice from his own voice.
You know John Bailey?
Yeah.
He's actually got a pretty good Optimus voice. It's
don't think so.
improved.
It just kind of sounds like a different rendition of his Epic Guy voice.
That's true, yeah. Yeah. Sounds better than Foshi, though. To me, at least.
Well, it's not a generic voice with robot synthesizer on, so
That was most of that
I'll
show.
give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. We've just passed we're like 50 minutes and 15 seconds into this. I'm going to wrap it up soon.
Okay.
Any final thoughts on Siege?
One good thing that came out of Siege was Sean Hawkins,
Who's
who
that?
voiced Mirage. And on Instagram, after the show came out, he started getting really active with fans and stuff, to the point that he started a YouTube channel where he pits two fans against each other in Transformers trivia, and whoever wins gets like a gift card for Amazon.
Well, that's cool.
He's really cool, and I hope he comes back in future iterations of the character to voice Mirage, or other characters even.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was he the original G1 actor?
No, he was not.
Okay, that's cool. Though.
He's in his 20s or something, so.
That's really dope.
I know. Siege got none of the original voice actors back. Except the Japanese dub. The Japanese dub has the original Japanese voice for Optimus being Optimus.
Good for them.
Yeah. Which is why it sounded better. Watch it in Japanese. It sounds a lot better.
I'll watch it in a language I barely understand.
Just read the subtitles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing subs, no dubs.
But another thing before we close out, the Peter Cullen and Frank Welker and other legendary voice actors are union actors probably, which Netflix and other production companies actively don't want to hire. Because even the Bumblebee movie, they had John Bailey come on and record Optimus's lines for a majority of the production. They only had Peter Cullen on for a day to record all of the lines. And he had to dub over a guy pretending to be him. And Optimus was animated to John Bailey's voice, and so Peter Cullen had to modify his Optimus voice to that movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Cullen talked about this at a panel somewhere, and how, like, Bailey's ability to make Optimus sound sincere and express emotion was not quite where it needed to be. And so in him trying to mimic Bailey, his Optimus sounded funny, even though I thought it sounded okay. But I can see where Peter Cullen, who's been doing it since the 80s, probably had a weird feeling doing it.
Yeah.
Dubbing over someone who's trying to be him.
Yeah.
And then I think it's Netflix and Rooster Teeth who actively decided not to bring in Frank Welker and Peter Cullen.
Okay, that makes a little sense now.
Yeah. Which they should stop.
I also figured, new series,
Yeah.
maybe just not that big of a budget.
Yeah, that's another thing is before Siege, there was the Prime Wars trilogy, which had a web series with Machinima on YouTube and other things.
Yeah.
Which was produced by the same people.
Yeah.
F.J. DeSanto, he executive produced both shows.
Uh-huh.
And Machinima, at the time of making the Prime Wars trilogy, was a dying company.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the
I
Prime
know
War-
about Machinima as a dying company.
The Power of the Primes.
Isn't Machinima just gone now?
Yeah, the Power of the Primes was the last thing they ever made. Like, I think the Prime Wars trilogy series
They probably did that Transformers thing to try to revive their company.
It didn't work because it was shit. Nobody likes that series. It was absolutely terrible.
All right, well then what would you rate War for Cybertron Siege?
For me, I gave it an 8 or 7 out of 10. Because I watched it like 6 times.
I give it a 6. I enjoyed it, but just not enough.
Yeah, I can see that.
And a 6 isn't a bad grade.
No, it's not. Pretty average, which
Yeah.
is what a lot of people felt about it.
We get into 3 territory, that's more bad. So we're 3 points above bad.
That's good. That's good.
The Batman trailer, I give that a 10 out of 10.
Oh, that was sexy.
But maybe in the next week, big news will drop because I think in the next 2 weeks,
Yeah.
Uncharted wraps up filming with Tom Holland, and then he goes to do Spider-Man.
Gotcha. That'll be fun.
So,
All right. So,
and they've already started filming on Spider-Man, just stuff without Tom Holland.
that it for our segments?
That's it. We're done. Mass communicating.
We'll be back next week on Halloween. We'll be back on Halloween, won't we?
Day before.
Day before Halloween. Yeah.
Day before
With
Halloween.
a Halloween
unless
episode.
like scheduling.
Yeah, that's
actually
true.
no, we can't record on Fridays.
Yeah, we can't do that.
At least next Friday.
Not
after that, we'll be
after
good,
that, we're good. Smooth sailing after that.
But next week we'll be back.
Halloween episode.
Talking about my first time watching Ghostbusters.
The original Ghostbusters.
We
just doing the first one, or are you going to try and watch the first two?
I'm going to do the first one.
Gotcha.
The second one may pop up down the line.
Gotcha. We'll have my brother on, who's a big Ghostbusters guy.
He can inform me on everything.
Yep.
And you can inform me on other stuff. We'll be back with another question this week. Go to our Instagram, the Two Dudes Podcast.
The Two Dudes Podcast. Oh yeah.
On Instagram.
Where is it?
Let me verify this. Yeah, _2_dudes_podcast. You can't miss it. Our profile photo is basically our album cover. Tomorrow, when the episode goes up, I will, or maybe a little bit after the episode goes up, there will be like a Instagram story with a checkbox. Not a checkbox, but a question box, and it'll be like, who do you want to compose your sci-fi adventure? And we'll share the answers.
Some question.
Yeah.
Should we share the answers like on the show?
Yeah, we can do that next weekend on our Instagram story. So we'll follow up with that, a new question, more answers, all that funky stuff. I just got to come up with another question.
Gotcha.
All right. I think that's all for now. Good to be back.
That's all for now, folks.
Hopefully this has been entertaining. Kind of getting back in the swing of things. So maybe next week we'll be up to our usual stuff.
Up to our usual spunk.
Yeah.
Has this episode felt low energy to you? I felt like we hit a pretty good high point talking about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And other exciting things. And then we talked about Siege, and you were like, I didn't like it that much.
Yeah, Siege brought me down a little, but you know.
Yeah.
Things happen. Maybe follow up on a couple things you said.
If we had more time, I'd go into my wild theories and political themes that I came up with for that show.
Oh, boy.
I can kind of support. I told you something about them, didn't I? About Megatron and Unicron. Megatron descending into madness, compromising his morals, considering genocide, and then will lead him to mess with time and space itself to solely defeat the Autobots.
You're talking some magic words, Magic Man.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Pretty much. No, I don't remember you talking about that. I was like, are you talking about Hitler or Megatron?
Yes. They're the same person.
Essentially.
Anyways, no dead air.
Megatron wasn't sent to infiltrate an organization, and Hitler was.
Are you sure about that?
Not anymore. All right, this has been the Two Dudes in a Podcast.
Episode 9?
We're glad we could be mass communicating.
Yo, it's episode 9.
Episode 9.
Rise of Mass Communicating.
Rise of Mass.
That's a long title.
Two Dudes Returns.
Return of the Two Dudes.
Too long. Two Dudes Returns. Do it Batman Returns
style, yeah.
Yeah, it's been an honor to mass communicate.
We mass communicating.
See you later. See you next week.
See you next week.
Next week. Peace out.
We still doing the outro?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to sign it off.
Okay, well,
we're at 59 minutes. We'll sign it off in a minute.
Well,
with couple, we're gonna do some dead air.
We'll see you next week. Halloween episode, spooky ghouls and whatnot. Yep. Ghosts.
Are you dressing up for Halloween?
Probably not. I'll be at Walmart. That sucks.
Dress up in Walmart.
Whoa.
Still a children's costume.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
All right. And remember, there's always money in the banana stand. Remember that.
Mass communicating.